So what was my point? Wasn't I saying that? So
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. But
So it's
what my point is,
yeah,
kind of assuming that you were going to go to reach the conclusion that I thought you were, was that there's a difference between coming across contrived and just generally not liking a specific thing that you came across. Like, I mean, that's not to say it's taken away the whole issue of being contrived. Sometimes you just look back a year or two past and think, oh, wait, that I don't think that represents me now, and
yeah.
you know.
But the thing is, as well, about that is that, like, I remember I used to make these. I never had the discipline to write a diary, like a written diary.
Yeah.
And I remember I had this 4-track that I borrowed off a friend for a while. And I decided to do an audio diary, and so I'd speak, about maybe about my week, or it wasn't like every day or anything, and I'd talk into it, and then if I listened back to it just after I'd said it, I'd think, oh yeah, that was cool. That was what I sort of thought. But if I listened back to it even just a week later, I would just cringe with embarrassment and self-consciousness. I would just absolutely, like, physically feel so embarrassed. And I remember the same thing about, about written diaries when I was a teenager, or no, when I was like 11 and 12, and I tried to write a diary a little bit. And the same thing, I could read it just after I'd written it and go, oh yeah, that seems fair, or that seems cool, or whatever. And if I read it a month later, it would be just hideously embarrassing to me. And I don't want to play the whole, because I'm older, I know better card at all. But I do wonder if you will continue to feel uncomfortable about podcasts and footage and stuff.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe you're right.
Because I don't feel that way nowadays. When I listen to my podcast, I never feel like, fuck, I come across as like really wise and profound. And I never think like, well, yeah, I'm the man. But I do think, yeah, that's what I thought at that time. Like I have a sort of, that's a good enough. Like I feel like, yeah, okay, that's good enough. And sometimes I've even listened back to radio interviews and stuff, and thought, fuck, that's really funny.
No, but well, I listen back to our interviews and I quite like them, but the ones that I want to take off, I think if you'd asked me at the time, I probably would have said the same thing.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, cool. No, that's a good distinction.
That's what I mean. Like I haven't listened back to the radio ones.
Yeah, let's listen to them again, because I just found them on my computer and I listened to like just literally maybe 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes.
No, I think the reason I did.
We were talking about Richard Dawkins. We were talking about spirituality and stuff like that or something.
Well, the thing was I knew jack shit about Richard Dawkins.
Well,
I thought that I had to say something.
Well, this was the thing that I thought was really funny. Not that I thought was really funny, but this is what's funny to me now. Is that you were really, the thing that I liked about it was just how intelligent you sounded, because you were making these really cool comments. That was the thing that struck me. I was like, we were sort of laughing and joking and shit and talking shit, but you said something quite profound and insightful, and I thought, fuck man, we should have kept that Tommy and Finney FM up, because that sounds really, really cool.
I think maybe what it was, the reason that I didn't like the idea of it, anybody hearing it, was because you had to go at me, during it for being contrived and for not letting my guard down, and so I thought that the whole thing wasn't worth hearing because I hadn't really just come across like naturally at all. I think that's half the reason I wanted to take it down.
But to be honest, until that point, I had thought that every single conversation I'd ever had with you, I wonder if you took your guard down. That wasn't a comment about how you were being that night. That was a comment about your personality and me not being able to be sure whether or not... that laugh, even that look in your eyes, I can't tell. I can't even tell if you're not playing the whole world all the time. And it never stopped me loving you or enjoying you. It never made me think like Finn's a false person. It's nothing to do with coming across as false. That's really not it. It's just about, like, I don't know, like let me ask you this. Do you, this kind of sounds kind of pussy or something, but I don't know why, because I don't normally find talking about these things pussy. But, will you cry and stuff very often in your life?
When I need to.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I just don't. Usually I cry when I watch like a sad TV program.
Yeah.
But I never felt that. I don't think I've felt the need to cry.
Sure.
Like out of personal grievance.
Yeah, sure.
I got a cough. I need my
So,
inhaler.
but so if you were having a
If I was having a shit day or whatever.
well, not a shit day, but like say you were with especially I don't know. For me, it seems that I find it easier to cry with women than I do with men, and it's probably just because I never had men growing up. But like, would you, if you and your girlfriend were splitting up and stuff?
I'm a crier. In terms of, maybe not in terms of splitting up. Because I don't know if I've like had my heart broken in that way.
Sure.
By a girl, so I don't know if I've ever locked myself in the room and cried a lot about that specifically. But I remember back when I was like 15, I had a fight with my friend at a party, like a drunken fight, and I cried buckets. And I don't know. I think I've always considered myself like a crier.
Yeah. I mean,
I find it therapeutic.
Yeah, totally. And I've always thought of you as an emotionally.
I know you've never seen me cry.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I don't. It's not like a checklist of whether or not someone
makes
is a good
cry.
friend.
Makes me cry.
Well, no, but like I
know that makes me cry.
Someone's
Tommy's goals for the day: make Finn cry.
Finn cry on stage.
Yeah.
No, but what I mean is like I guess. Because I just think you are so funny, and sometimes I see you do these fucking like hilarious things, like with people, like either our fans or sometimes John or whoever. You say these things that have so many different layers of meaning. It has made me wonder if I experience you as being totally emotionally present and emotionally available. But I have wondered if and that's what I was trying to talk about in that podcast. Not that you were being false in any way at that moment. But that, do you let your, is there, because it's not just like your guard down to be your authentic self or a fake self. There's like layers and layers and layers of subtle defences or guard, you know what I mean? So I knew that you let your guard down all the time in terms of making yourself vulnerable. But like, I wondered if there was some subtle layer that was, that was there all the time, which I'd never seen beyond,
Oh, maybe no one has.
But that's right.
And maybe I don't know about it.
Yeah, totally. That's what I wonder. If you know about it or not. Because if you don't know about it, that's not an issue.
That's what I thought you were always going to ask.
Yeah.
Like at the end of that spiel. And then you asked it, and here it is.
Yeah.
And I have no idea. I don't know.
So you don't know about it then? Because you'd know if you knew about it.
Yeah, maybe it has something to do with, I don't know, my experience. Maybe I don't know myself as much as I will in 5 years' time. Yeah. I think you might be right. But it's hard to know. What do you think?
I think you make yourself vulnerable, bro. That's what I think. Although I know you were asking the John Savage mask, but
I don't feel the need to. I mean, I don't feel like I need to prove that.
No, absolutely.
I don't really think about it very much.
Sure.
Maybe when I'm bullshitting people, like I think what happens is when I bullshit, say, a fan. Because I'm a dick.
Because he's a nice guy.
Because I'm the nice guy. And then I know you've picked up on it. I still play coy because, like, now you know. But that's the same thing that I do if I actually meant something.
Yeah.
And then if I'm actually don't want to, like if I'm actually being serious about something like sneaks.
Like what?
Like sneakers and jeans. Like, when that intervention happened last night at the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It didn't annoy me, but I'm going to stand by my footwear choice.
Oh, you like those white sneakers?
Well, yeah, I like them.
I didn't.
I like what they stand for.
Finn got a footwear intervention. It had nothing to do with me. I just came in the room and it was already in the process. And his friends were intervening, saying, "Finn, you need to improve.
Wear more fashionable shoes." They needed.
I don't know that they said more fashionable. I don't know that we're talking about more fashionable. Fashionable makes it sound like it's quite a superficial kind of thing.
Wait, if they weren't talking about fashion, they were talking about utility, and those are the most useful shoes anyone's ever come across.
Okay, no, sorry, you're right. I took the wrong connotation from the word fashionable. No, fashionable probably was what they meant. Yeah. Now let me ask you something you might not have thought about before, because it's kind of an abstract question. But
I need to take my inhaler.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. You don't have another cat, do you?
No, I don't think you're having a cat reaction.
No, probably not.